Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to a new video. I've got a new background for the new season. I've just moved some stuff around in the house and ended up changing rooms, but yeah, new background, new Premier League season starting on Friday, which also means we have a brand new Fantasy Football League starting on Friday as well. Now, I've been running my league for 3 years now. It's been going for quite a long time. I will have the code for my league somewhere on screen, and if we actually take a look at my league, you can see here that I already have a lot of you in the league, and that is because if you were in my league last season or the season before or the season before that, you will have automatically been added as soon as you created your fantasy football team. So as I said, last year I'm pretty sure I had a few thousand people in the league, which was insane. And it doesn't actually give you a number of how many people are in the league unless I went through and counted all of them, which I haven't done, but there's hundreds of you guys already in. And I would love it if more would enter and everyone got involved. So if you haven't already, be sure to join the league. And today, I will basically be giving you a run through of what my team as looking like. So yeah, if you haven't joined the league already, make sure to get involved, and let's jump into my team. Before we get into my team, if there's one tip I can give you guys from this video, it's that the Premier League season starts on Friday at 8 o'clock. And I know that sounds daft, but it starts at 8 o'clock, which means you've got until 7 o'clock on Friday to complete your team. I know what I'm like, waking up Saturday morning going, oh, I'll get my team sorted before 11 or whatever it is, and then you forget, and then you've completely wasted that weekend. Alright, so the Premier League doesn't start on Saturday, it starts on Friday. Get your team in before 7 o'clock. Obviously, up until 7 o'clock on Friday, you can make as many changes as you like. You can make your team if you don't like it, you can change it again, as long as it's ready for 7 on Friday, alright? But as for my team, now, I actually did a video last week where I went through the entire team, made changes, and I was going to call it like my first draft. I never uploaded that video because the footage got corrupted. I'm trying to use a new editing system, it just wasn't working. Which is why I've kind of already made my team. I'll go through it with you guys now. I definitely still want to make a few changes, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of my team, and just let me know what you're doing with your team. So let me know down below if you've got any hidden gems that you think might be good for this season, because I'm always happy to take the help. But maybe some of the stuff that I'll talk about today might help some of you guys as well. Okay, so for goalkeepers, I've gone for Hart and Edison. I mean, I believe, well, you can see it there. Alisson, Edison, I think they are going to be picked by a lot of people. The choice is, do you go Liverpool or do you go Man City? They both cost the same amount. Alisson actually got 7 points more than Edison last time round, so could go him. I mean, it's a toss of the coin. I went Edison. And then as for my other goalkeeper, you can see I've got Joe Hart. I always just go for a cheap goalkeeper who plays. And there is quite a few 4.5 million options, so Joe Hart isn't set in stone. The reason I went for him is because Tom Heaton has just left Burnley for Aston Villa, I think, which means that Burnley have got Joe Hart and Pope, both 4.5 million, both very in with a shout of starting. So yeah, I can see Hart changing, but Edison, is he worth the 6 million? I think he probably is. Let me know what you think of that down below. As for the defence, now, I do watch a fair few fantasy football videos, obviously with the run-up. I'm sure loads of you guys do, and I'm sure half of you guys have never even seen me before, but have literally just clicked today to watch some fantasy football, which is fair play. And if it is, drop a like and subscribe. But in terms of defenders, now, in the past, I would pretty much go 3 at the back, spend no money on it, and then just lump all of my money into the midfielders and the strikers. Now, apparently, last year I heard a stat that basically there was actually defenders within like the top 10 scoring players last season. Presumably Robertson, Alexander-Arnold. Whereas in the past, you know, those defenders never really got as many points. So I do believe people will spend more on defenders this season because of that. Like Robertson, you know, he is 7 million. That is an expensive defender. But when he got 213 points last season, look, Van Dijk got 208, you know. These are the reasons people are going to be spending more money on defenders this season, specifically those three Liverpool players, Robertson, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold. Just scrolling down there, look, Robertson got 213 points, Van Dijk 208, scroll down to strikers, and Aubameyang 205, Aguero 201. So let's just go off, you know, Aubameyang 11 million for 205 points, Alexander-Arnold 7 million and got 8 points more. So he costs 4 million less, but actually got 8 points more. And that is why people will spend money on defenders this season. I mean, 7 million is expensive, and especially coming from me who likes to spend pretty much the bare minimum on defenders. I have put him in there. I think he will stay there. Is it worth lumping in Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold? You can see there Laporte as well. Is it worth going really big on defenders? I'm not so sure. Alongside him, anyway, I've got Maguire. Now, when I did my video last time round, he was wearing a Leicester top. His price hasn't changed, but obviously alongside him, I've also got Wan-Bissaka. Both 5.5 million. I don't think I'll go to Man United defenders, so I will probably change one of them. I might do that in a moment, to be fair. Wan-Bissaka, yeah, he looked good. I'm hoping he'll do what he did last season, but in a Man United shirt. His price has increased. He was one of my ones to look at last time round because he was only 4 million, I believe. This time round, I've pretty much put his replacement in, who is the 4 million choice, Kelly. With Wan-Bissaka leaving, they need someone to plug that hole, and it's very likely that Kelly will do that, and he only cost 4 million. And Lundstram, the Sheffield United defender, I've seen he's been quite popular among people's picks because he's had a good pre-season, and he only costs 4 million. And for the promoted sides, so Sheffield United, Norwich and Aston Villa, I actually think that Sheffield United haven't got too bad start. I think they've got 3 games, and then the 4th game they play Chelsea, which is obviously a tough one. But the three before that, they've got a good chance. So yeah, that's my defence. I'll have a little look at this Maguire replacement now. I had an extra 0.5 million, so I've put in Kyle Walker again. I'm not 100% sure, but Man City attacking fullback, it's not a bad shout. We'll move into the midfield now. I actually had a few troubles with my midfield. Some of them are easily explained, others were just kind of, you know, I mean, I've gone for Sterling, 12 million. I'm pretty sure last year I had Sterling, Salah, I had Fraser, Bournemouth midfielder. He has gone up in price considerably this year, along with Wilson, who was also a cheap Bournemouth player. Like Fraser was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th highest midfielder scoring, but he's now 7.5 million. Which does not make him as attractive. And fair enough, he could have as good a season this year as he did last year. But as a Bournemouth player, you know, you're looking at the other guys. I don't know. Let me know if you think Fraser's still a good shout at 7.5 million. But anyway, I went for Sterling. He's 12 million. He's expensive, but he's had a good pre-season, and he obviously was very good last season. Ayoze Perez. Leicester player now, obviously ex-Newcastle United. The reason I put him in, he's 6.5 million and he's been playing striker for Newcastle for the last 5 years. I've not seen any of his pre-season in Leicester. I don't know if they've been playing him in centre mid, but they've got him down as a midfielder on there. I'd imagine even if he does play 1 or 2 games in midfield, he will play a lot of games up front. And you know, if he's able to get 12 goals this season, you know, as a striker, and I've got him as a midfielder, I think that's a bad shout. Lucas Moura, pretty much the same reason. Very good alongside Harry Kane, effectively playing as a striker. They've got him down as a midfielder, so I've put him in. Felipe Anderson, obviously he's looked very good. 7 million, I'm not really sure. And I put Jack Grealish in at 6 million, just because everyone's talking about Aston Villa, the money they've spent. They could have a very good season, and if they do, and Aston Villa fans, feel free to let me know. I hear so much about this guy. I'm guessing he takes your free kicks, your penalties, your corners, and that's the kind of player you want in, because you get a lot of chances for assists. I have actually got a few players I might want to change here, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the reason I cut off for a second there, the players I have been looking at for centre mid since I created this team about a week ago. Again, to be honest, all of these players are potentially replaceable, but from what I've seen in the stats on pre-season, etc., I believe both Barkley and Mount have both had very good pre-seasons and are both just 6 million. You can see on here there's quite a few injury worries for Chelsea. The fact that Hazard is no longer there. There are spaces to fill. Will he go with Barkley or will he go with Mount, who, as you can see here, is actually on 0 points because he hasn't featured before. I'm not sure about that one, but then, you know, when you're looking at Jack Grealish 6 million, Barkley 6 million. If Barkley gets a good run in Chelsea's team, I think he's a very, very good price at 6 million. But then, as I've said, if Aston Villa go on to do well, Jack Grealish could also be a very good price for 6 million. Let me know what you think of my thoughts in centre midfield. Midfield, obviously players who are noticeably absent. Salah, don't have him in there this year. Again, very expensive, trying to fit in. A more costly defence than I would normally have has meant that I've had to make a few sacrifices moving forward. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. And up front, I mean, you will have seen my whole team pretty much, unless I've kind of like blocked it off as I've gone on. I don't know how I've edited this yet. Yeah, my strikers, I've gone with Aubameyang, Arsenal striker. As we saw literally a moment ago, he was the top scoring striker last season. 11 million, still a million less than Aguero. But he is still 4 points better than Aguero and 20 points better than Jimenez last season. So yeah, I think it's a good shout. Fingers crossed he can get plenty of goals this season. I think it's unlikely that I'm going to change him between now and Friday. In terms of my other strikers, I've got Abraham up front. Again, he has been given the number 9 by Frank Lampard this season, and he only costs 7 million. So again, he could be a very good shout at striker. Additionally, Batshuayi, also 7 million. Is he going to play them both up front together? Again, pre-season has shown me they've both been getting a run out, so honestly, who knows? And then my other striker, I had to put a Newcastle player in there somewhere. I have gone for Newcastle's record signing Joe Linton at 6 million. Again, it is potentially a decent punt on him because Newcastle have made some good signings. Almiron, Joe Linton and St. Maxin up front. That is a pretty good strike force. Obviously, they're all well, apart from Almiron, they're pretty untested. Could go all guns blazing and get some good goals this season, or it may not. But that's the risks you've got to take with the cheaper players to try and get the good deals. As I say, last year, I had Fraser, I had Wilson, I had Wan-Bissaka. The kind of players you bring in on a low price and by the end of the season are skyrocket. And that is why I can't afford to put Wilson in this season, because he's up to 8 million or so. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Obviously, I may make a few changes before Friday, and if I do so, I don't know if I'll have time to make another video before Friday. If you drop a like on this video, if you want to see what my team looks like potentially Thursday night, or maybe even Friday during the day before the Premier League kicks off, make sure to drop a like on this video. Otherwise, I'll probably post some stuff on Instagram, so make sure to look out for my Instagram posts as well. And that is where I'm going to end the video, guys. So let me know down below how you think my team looks, who looks good, who doesn't, who have you got in your team who is going to get in the points this season. And as I've said, join my league if you haven't already. Alright, very excited for the Premier League kicking off on Friday. And it's more than likely I will be back every week or every 2 weeks to let you know how I'm doing in the fantasy football, but more importantly, how you guys are doing in my league as well. We had a lot of interaction last year, so fingers crossed we can do the same again this year. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.